This video is for all martial arts practitioners and fans. We've all been asked this exact question at some point or another. What is the best martial art in the world? I'll tell you what, I hate this question. I think it's foolish. As someone who's been involved in martial arts for like 40 years, yeah, I'm old, I just think it's really silly. All of my experience has been in striking arts. I started off in taekwondo as a kid for like 8 years. Then I did boxing for a while, and then I did Muay Thai predominantly for the next few decades. But I actually respect all martial arts, and if I had the opportunity, I would love to learn some grappling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling. I think wrestlers are some of the most phenomenal athletes on the planet. But let me tell you why I think it's just not a reasonable question. When someone asks what the best martial art is, they're coming from a position where they assume that every martial art has the same goals, which just isn't true. You see, not every martial art is actually intended to help you win a street fight per se. I do think that every martial art helps if you don't have any experience. It's better to train in any martial art rather than none, because every martial art gives you something, whether it's the ability to strike or to avoid or to take down, even just to understand ranging and have some degree of reflexes that might help you protect yourself. Just being strong, healthy, fit, and having cardio is going to dramatically increase your chances of being able to win in a street fight. But back to the point, not every martial art is intended to help you win a fight. Yes, I'll say it again. Not every martial art is designed and meant or trained or practiced or taught to help you win a fight. That might sound counterintuitive, but you gotta understand that martial arts are very often just arts or sports. Some types of training in traditional arts are really just to develop self-discipline or to learn how to control your breathing or your emotions or your mind. Sometimes the movements are just there for general wellness, flexibility, and mobility of your joints. In other cases, martial arts are practiced as a sport. And that means they have very specifically defined scoring systems. For example, when I was in taekwondo as a kid, the point was not to inflict damage to your opponent. In fact, if you drew blood on your opponent or if you struck them too hard, you'd actually lose a point or even get disqualified. To win the match, you'd have to score points, and that means touching the target quickly and getting out of range. And I tell you what, taekwondo athletes are very, very good at that. They're extremely fast, very nimble, and they're very good at ranging, taking their points and getting out of the way. When I started to transition into Muay Thai, it was a completely different game. I remember one of the first times sparring one of my teammates in the Muay Thai class, and we had an exchange, and I said, hold on, you can't hit me there because I already got you here. I already scored my point. And his response just totally changed the way I thought about fighting. He said, yeah, but I would take that to give you this. So you see what I'm saying? In Muay Thai and other martial arts, being able to absorb damage and impact is part of the sport. It's intended to inflict damage. You're training to hurt your opponent, and you're training to be able to absorb impact so that you can take more damage. Don't get me wrong, of course, defense and protecting yourself is a huge part of Muay Thai. But the point is that you enter the ring in Muay Thai with the understanding that you are probably going to get hit, and you need to be prepared for that. Whereas in taekwondo, the scoring system is completely different. But that means that taekwondo athletes are going to move and train in a very, very different way. They're going to move and train in a way that's going to give them the most success within their scoring system of their sport. Muay Thai athletes are going to move and train and approach their fighting game completely differently. So it's like apples and oranges. Yes, if you took a Muay Thai practitioner and put them in a Muay Thai rules fight, they would probably obliterate the taekwondo athlete most times. But have you ever thought about this? If you took a Muay Thai athlete and put them in a taekwondo match and they had to follow the scoring system and rules of a taekwondo match, do you think they would do well? Actually, I don't think so. I think they would get outpointed very quickly. Because again, the point of Muay Thai is not just to touch and move, it's to inflict damage. That's part of the scoring system and part of the culture of that sport. Similarly, you could take a Muay Thai athlete and put them in the octagon in an MMA match, and if they've never trained takedowns, wrestling, grappling, jiu-jitsu, and submission, they're probably going to get taken down and submitted. But if you took an MMA athlete and put them in a street fight where the opponent was good at something like Krav Maga, or knew how to poke the eyes or jab the throat or attack the groin or something like that, there's a good chance that they could lose in that street fight. Coming back to the point is that every martial art has its own unique culture, scoring system, strategy, and purpose. And the purpose is not always to win in a freestyle, full contact fight. So the question of what martial art is the best, it's completely subjective. What is best for one person might not be best for another person. Some people are just looking for good role models. Some people pursue martial arts for self-development. And I can tell you that not every martial art community really offers that. I can tell you firsthand that after decades of experience in the Muay Thai community here in Ontario, there are a lot of egos and a lot of toxic personalities. But there's also some really awesome people. Some people might want a softer art because they don't want to get injured because they have to go to their corporate white-collar job the next day. Some people might be seeking martial arts just to find a way to discipline their child, or to build a social community, or to just have fun. The bottom line is this, that no matter what martial art you're talking about, every one of them has something to offer. And I think it's just silly and childish to try to compare them and try to rank them in terms of which one is the best, because the best is completely subjective. This is my opinion. I respect everyone. What do you think?